bringing you a steady stream of thought-provoking ideas and cutting-edge innovation. You're listening to Society and the State. Life, liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. Now, your hosts, Connor Boyack and Brian Hyde.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Society and the State. We're here on episode number 130 talking about what is potentially a controversial topic, but with an individual and an organization who's doing something totally out of the box and creative about it that I'm very excited about. We're talking to Joe Baker, who is the founder and CEO of a group called Save the Storks. Joe, thanks very much for joining us.
Hey, man, I'm super excited to be on the show.
Thank you. So Save the Storks. One might read that and say, like, okay, save the whales, save the penguins, save the pygmy whatever that's going extinct. Why are you guys saving storks? So what is this group about, and why are you calling it Save the Storks?
That's a great question. Yeah, originally I was trying to come up with a way to talk about the life issue, the pro-life issue, without always having other people get upset with me. And so I figured, hey, everybody loves a good environmental cause. So we decided to go with that. And especially folks that disagree or that like abortion, they always seem to like an environmental cause. And so when I came up with the idea, I actually printed up a box of shirts that said Save the Storks on the front, and the back said 55 million storks shot down since 1973, which is 1973 is the anniversary of Roe versus Wade. And as soon as this box arrived, Connor, I pulled a shirt out and I headed out to the Apple store to get my wife's computer fixed. And I didn't even make it to the Genius Bar when this woman grabs me by the shoulders. She spins me around and she says, "I've heard of the spotted owl and the whale, but who is killing the storks?" and I couldn't help it but tell her that I said, "Ma'am, they're these Cheneys and they're up in North Dakota shooting them down as they fly over the border." And she was ready to literally sell her belongings and join my cause. And at some point I realized I needed to level with this lady. And I said, "Ma'am, I'm totally messing with you. We're actually doing something even more amazing. We're able to reach women right at the moment of decision and provide her resources that allow her to make a decision to choose life instead of abortion."
Mm-hmm. And
suddenly this woman, when I said that, became very hard. And she said, she says, "Well, I'm 100% pro-choice." And Connor, without even missing a beat, I was able to tell her, I said, "Well, that's wonderful to hear, because 84% of post-abortive women later say they felt having an abortion was their only choice. And now 64% of women who've had an abortion say they felt pressured into it." And so really I told this woman, "Ma'am, I'm really only helping the women that feel pressured and cornered by abortion." And she had no idea what to do with that, because for the first time it sounded so pro-choice in her mind, which is really what I was trying to do. I was just trying to come at the dialogue in a new place. And I found that our fun brand with these gentle, loving birds has really done that all over. And I've now had 1,000 conversations like that.
It's disarming, right? I mean, it kind of throws people a little bit in an unexpected way to give you an opportunity to actually dialogue, I would imagine, rather than them putting you in a box immediately that lets them set you aside.
Exactly right. Yeah. Let's disarm them.
So let me ask this, Joe. You're not a woman, right? And so why are you entitled to have anything to do with this? Before we unpack what it is you guys actually do and how you're providing these resources that are changing minds and hearts, how did you stumble into this, and why are you involved?
Yeah. First of all, you don't have to be a woman to see this issue as an injustice. Half of the babies that are aborted are boys, which are men, and so I think that it's okay to be a man and to want to have an impact here. And really, it's about serving women is what we want to do in the end. And that's another aspect of being a man. And so we want to protect women and serve them. And when we have, 84% of women say they feel pressured into an abortion, we want to help those women. We want to serve them. And so it's been a passion of mine really since fourth grade, where I've cared about this issue and wanted to have an impact. And when I saw the first mobile unit at work in New York City, for me, that was like shooting up. There was something in my bloodstream that I just couldn't get enough of. And I've never done drugs in my life, but I was literally an addict as soon as I saw a woman change her mind right at the door of an abortion clinic.
So
Ever since then, I've been focused on it.
Great. So what is this mobile clinic? What is it that you guys are actually doing? We're going to direct people to your website, some of the videos and content that you've been doing, but help our listeners understand, what are you guys doing that's so different? What sets you apart?
Yeah. So instead of being a protester or picketer or a boycotter, what we're trying to do is really serve women who find themselves cornered by abortion. And so we build these mobile medical units that are like a luxury lounge and a hospital room put together in the back of a vehicle. And they're high end. It's a Mercedes product. It's a $150,000 Mercedes product. And we're able to provide a woman a free sonogram and a beautiful space to receive some counseling, sometimes right at the door of an abortion clinic. And we'll see many women in a day aboard our bus, and 4 out of 5 of them will keep their baby. And we've now launched buses, 46 of them, all across America. And I think we're in like 28 or 29 states. And it's growing quickly. We have 20 more buses coming.
Give me a story. Help us understand from the perspective of one of these women that you're serving. What is it about that experience that leads so many to reconsider having an abortion?
Yeah. So here's a story that that we recently got to hear. There's a woman who went into an abortion clinic, and it was actually her boyfriend that was outside smoking that decided to come aboard our Stork bus. And as we were talking to him, as our counselor was talking to him, his eyes become open to the gravity of what was happening, and he decided to text his girlfriend, who came out, and she had already had a wristband on. They'd already done a blood test on her, and she was like next in line. And when this dad and this mom saw their little baby on the sonogram, they both fell in love with that baby. And there's a moment where the dad said, it looks like I'm getting another job. And he busted the bracelet off of her arm and said, honey, you and I are having a baby. And it's moments like that that make this so worth it for me. And what it is that helps a woman make a decision for life is a couple things. The first thing is that often a woman who finds themselves pregnant in these situations, there's no one in their world that supports that pregnancy. So the people that she shares it with very quickly point her in the direction of having an abortion. Oftentimes, we're the first people in her life to say, this is real. You're a mom now, and you're going to be okay. It's going to be hard, but you're going to be okay. And that's number one, is supporting that pregnancy. Number two is providing those resources. It's saying, hey, it's going to be hard, but we're going to help you. And all of our centers offer counseling classes, discipleship, food, clothing, and formula. And so that's part of our presentation, is that, hey, there are people that are going to support you and help you and get you the services that you need to be able to handle this. But then 3 is really the most amazing part, and that's the magic that happens when a mom sees that baby on a sonogram and really begins to understand that this is a little being that's going to live forever and that is going to love her back. And when she begins to grasp the eternal aspects of what it means to bear a child and have a baby, it's all over. I mean, that's when you really win. I mean, that mom begins to bond with that baby sometimes for the first time in a quiet, loving place with the sonogram.
It seems to me that one of the reasons that abortions may happen more often than they otherwise would is kind of what you were just referring to. That is the lack of humanization of that baby in their womb. And are you finding that for many of these women coming into your Stork buses, your mobile clinics, to have this sonogram or listen to the heartbeat. Is it the first time they've done that? Have they been carrying the child oftentimes until that point without ever being able to listen to the heartbeat or see the child on the sonogram?
I'd say more than 9 out of 10 times, this is their first real sonogram. It's even if an abortion clinic does a sonogram, they often don't see it. They often don't get to hear the heartbeat. It's really this is their first opportunity to really comprehend the baby, and so yeah, that happens on our units every day.
What broader insight do you have on that issue, Joe? Because it seems to me that when we humanize other people, the implications of that idea I think are profound as we talk about even things like foreign policy and immigration. It seems like when we see other people like us as fellow travelers, fellow humans, even fellow children of God for those who are religious, it seems to me that humanization element is so integral to having compassion and love and not doing potentially very harmful actions. What insights do you have on that?
Yeah, I think you're dead on in the way you said that. It's like, I mean, even just the aspect of my wife and I this year talking about having another baby, and when I realized even that conversation, I'm like, we're really talking about creating someone who's going to live forever, and how massive that is, and wild that is, and that we get to play a small role in that. These women have never really often had that ability. They've never had that conversation. They've never really thought of a baby as anything but a disease. Mm-hmm. And this is their first time to think about, wow, this little child's going to grow up and have a family and love them back. And it's and honestly, that's another amazing aspect of this is there are many stories that come back where there's tremendous pressure from a mother-in-law or a mother or a father or father-in-law. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, every single time that a woman makes a decision for life, that mother or mother-in-law or father-in-law love that baby. Mm. And I've never seen a case go the other way.
Yeah.
And there's often a lot of pain that has to be overcome when that occurred. However, once that baby comes, everyone loves that baby. Once they see that baby, they love that baby. And that's all that we're doing, is trying to show them the eternal aspect of having a baby, and that this is a human, mm-hmm. just like you and me.
What talk to me about kind of the organization itself. You guys have been growing a lot. Are you guys directly operating these stork buses? It seems, as I'm looking over your website, that you're appearing to partner with existing like pregnancy resource centers and others to go mobile themselves. How are you guys expanding your reach and influence?
So we work with local pregnancy centers all over the country in basically helping them go mobile and all the aspects of that, from fundraising for it to launching the mobile unit. And then we've got tons of customer service following that, and training and coaching and consulting. And now we do our own conference, and we're really there to support the pregnancy center to be able to do this ministry in a good way, in a well way. And so it's all about investing in them and investing in that local presence that's having the impact. Unfortunately, we don't get to do the magical work in our office in Colorado Springs, but because of our work now, I mean, thousands and thousands of women have made a decision for life now on these buses. Mm-hmm. And so it's been a really exciting model that we developed. And so currently, I think we have 65 affiliates, something like that, and 46 of them have already launched, mm-hmm. and it's about 20 to go. So
that's amazing. I should note for the listener, in full disclosure, that a few months ago, my wife and I watched one of the videos that you guys put out with the prestigious Harmon Brothers marketing agency, and we're so persuaded by your guys' unique approach and the way to humanize the issue and empower people to actually have choice in the matter and not feel pressured. that we became a donor to Save the Storks. And so very excited to share your guys' story. Talk to our listeners, Joe, in closing briefly about the need that you guys have. Is there some statistic of like X number of dollars per month will do X? How do you guys make the pitch to donors, and how can our listeners support what you guys are doing at Save the Storks?
Yeah, so our average donation is people giving $35 a month, and the whole organization has been funded by 8,000 people that give $35 per month. That's what it is right now, and honestly, that doesn't change a lot of people's lifestyle. So we say $35 a month is enough to help a woman make a decision for life, and it's a small commitment that allows you to join our family, and we'll send you out some stories and keep you up to date and let you know what's going on if you partner with us at that amount. We'll also send you out a T-shirt and just adopt you into our family as you're going to be able to know that because of you, a woman and now her baby will love each other, and they'll get to have a beautiful story. And so, yeah, if you're out there listening and you know that you want to save a mom and baby from abortion, commit to that. Say, we're going to commit to a small amount, $35 a month for at least a year, and go for it. And we will take care of you from there.
Well, I'll double down on that. That's the level that my wife and I are contributing at. We're one of those 8,000 supporting this work. Honored to be a part of it, especially finding free market, private ways of addressing a clear societal, cultural, human problem. So really excited by what you guys are doing. I'm going to link to your guys' websites, savethestorks.com. Also, the video that I mentioned has over 5 million views. Really recommend that our listeners click on there to watch the video, and it's as is every Harmon Brothers video. It's entertaining, it's informational, it's persuasive. Definitely worth your time. All those links are going to be at societyandthestate.com/130. Joe Baker, founder and CEO of Save the Storks. Creative, innovative idea, good work. Thank you for joining us today.
All right. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks for listening to Society and the State. For show notes, archives, and more great content, visit societyandthestate.com.